Let me tell you a story from this week. My 10-year-old son Reed had a common problem, a bully on his soccer team. His other kids started picking on Reed during practice. Reed, tell us what happened.
He called me gay, said he would kill me, and purposely hit my legs with his cleats.
And did you tell the coach about it?
No, I figured I could handle it.
I decided it was his choice whether he needed help, so I decided to respect that decision. But he was also worried about his next practice the following day. Now, there's a couple ways to handle a bully situation. But as a parent, and someone who studied Buddhism for years, and someone who runs the Unlocking the Soul YouTube channel, I figured I had some tools in my toolkit. So what's the most enlightened path here? I decided to introduce my son to Tong Len. It's a Tibetan Buddhist term meaning give and receive. It's focused on developing compassion, and in some studies it's been shown to actually change the brain of the practitioner. It increases the brain's representation of other people's emotions, and it alters neural pathways. Basically, you get into a meditative state, such as by focusing on your breath. Then you visualize somebody else. You can start with a loved one, which is easiest, but then eventually move on to someone you have a difficult relationship with. Now you imagine breathing in their darkness or suffering. In this case, we imagine breathing in the boy's insecurities, his fears, his pain. Maybe he himself had an abusive past that he carries with him. We don't know. Maybe even something from a past life. Then we imagine transforming that dark energy that we pulled inside of us into bright light. Then we exhale it back to the person as well-being, freedom, lightness, even joy. Then you expand the scope of your Tong Len to a larger group, or even to the entire earth. You again breathe in its darkness, its murkiness, its pain, and you breathe out freedom, light, high vibrations. That's all we did. We didn't even really talk about it again afterwards. And Reed, tell us what happened the next practice when you saw this boy.
Oh, we stood next to each other in line to take turns kicking penalty shots. I looked him in the eye and said, "Are we cool?" He said, yeah. Then I reached out and shook his hand.
And do you think that Tong Len helped you have the courage to do that?
Yes.
Do you think it affected him at all? Think it helped him calm down, or his attitude toward you?
Yes, but he had a friend who was still being mean, so I said it seemed like he needed some Tong Len too.
So we focused on him last night as well, didn't we?
Yes, we'll see what happens next time with him.
So one practice I picked up years ago is that any time I hear sirens, like from an ambulance, police, or fire truck, I use that as a reminder to practice a quick Tong Len. I know when I hear that siren, there's someone out there in distress, having a bad day, a scary time, and probably their families too. I don't know who, but I still breathe in their fear and pain, and breathe out what I imagine as children blowing bubbles in a park, which is just about the most carefree joy I've ever experienced and that I could wish on anybody else. The former head of the Shambhala Buddhism lineage, Sakyong Mipham, he once described enlightened society as being comprised of nothing more than one-on-one interactions. So how we treat each other matters, and the collection of how we interact builds up to an entire enlightened society. So try it out, let me know in the comments, and if you find this practice helpful, tell us how, and don't forget to click subscribe. Namaste. The Dalai Lama once said that if every 8-year-old in the world is taught meditation, we will eliminate violence from the world in 1 generation.